Chapter 34. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy and say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God unto the shepherds, Woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flocks? Ye eat the fat, and ye clothe you with the wool. Ye kill them that are fed, but ye feed not the flock. The diseased have ye not strengthened, neither have ye healed that which was sick, neither have ye bound up that which was broken, neither have ye brought that which was driven away, neither have ye sought that which was lost, but with force and with cruelty have ye ruled them. And they were scattered because there is no shepherd, and they became meat to all the beasts of the field when they were scattered. My sheep wandered through all the mountains, and upon every high hill. Yea, my flock was scattered upon all the face of the earth, and none did search or seek after them. Therefore, ye shepherds, hear the word of the Lord. As I live, saith the Lord, surely because my flock became a prey, and my flock became meat to every beast of the field, because there was no shepherd, neither did my shepherds search for my flock, but the shepherds fed themselves, and fed not my flock. Therefore, O ye shepherds, hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I am against the shepherds, and I will require my flock at their hand, and cause them to cease from feeding the flock. Neither shall the shepherds feed themselves any more, for I will deliver my flock from their mouth, that they may not be meat for them. For thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I, even I, will both search my sheep and seek them out. As the shepherd seeketh out his flock in the day that he is among his sheep that are scattered, so will I seek out my sheep, and will deliver them out of all places where they have been scattered in the cloudy and dark day. And I will bring them out from the people, and gather them from the countries, and will bring them to their own land, and feed them upon the mountains of Israel by the rivers, and in all the inhabited places of the country. I will feed them in a good pasture, and upon the high mountains of Israel shall their fold be. There shall they lie in a good fold, and in a fat pasture shall they feed on the mountains of Israel. I will feed my flock, and I will cause them to lie down, saith the Lord God. I will seek that which was lost, and bring again that which was driven away, and will bind up that which was broken, and will strengthen that which was sick, but I will destroy the fat and the strong. I will feed them with judgment. And as for you, O my flock, thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I judge between cattle and cattle, and between the rams and the he-goats. Seemeth it a small thing unto you to have eaten up the good pasture, but ye must tread down that which your feet, the residue of your pastures, and to have drunk of the deep waters, but ye must foul the residue with your feet. And as for my flock, they eat that which ye have trodden with your feet, and they drink that which ye have fouled with your feet. Therefore thus saith the Lord God unto them, Behold, I, even I, will judge between the fat cattle and between the lean cattle. Because ye have thrust with side and with shoulder, and pushed all the diseased with your horns, till ye have scattered them abroad. Therefore will I save my flock, and they shall no more be a prey, and I will judge between cattle and cattle. And I will set up one shepherd over them, and he shall feed them, even my servant David. He shall feed them, and he shall be their shepherd. And I, the Lord, will be their God, and my servant David a prince among them. I, the Lord, have spoken it. And I will make with them a covenant of peace, and will cause the evil beast to cease out of the land, and they shall dwell safely in the wilderness, and sleep in the woods. And I will make them and the places round about my hill a blessing. And I will cause the shower to come down in his season, and there shall be showers of blessing. And the tree of the field shall yield her fruit, and the earth shall yield her increase, and they shall be safe in the land, and shall know that I am the Lord, when I have broken the bands of their yoke, and delivered them out of the hand of those that serve themselves of them. And they shall no more be a prey to the heathen, neither shall the beast of the land devour them, but they shall dwell safely, and none shall make them afraid. And I will raise up for them a plant of renown, and they shall be no more consumed with hunger in the land, neither bear the shame of it heathen any more. Thus shall they know that I, the Lord their God, am with them, and that they, even the house of Israel, are my people, saith the Lord God. And ye, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I am your God, saith the Lord God. This is another one of those wonderful chapters that I really like about Ezekiel. Here the Lord talks about the shepherds of Israel. Now, the shepherds are standing as an example of the religious leaders of the day. and they also stand for the religious leaders today and for us as individuals, because we all are leaders in some way, shape, or form. We may not be the religious leader at our church, but we might be the religious leader at our home. And we can be just as unrighteous and stupid in our homes as somebody else could be in a church. I remember reading a book many years ago about a tribe of Indian people, native people, who lived by hunting buffalo. And these people this was before guns were introduced, and they had to travel from place to place as the buffalo migrated, and the only weapons they had were either spears or bows with arrows, and the bows with arrows were not very powerful bows. When you've got an animal that weighs 2,000 pounds and got skin about an inch or two thick and hair outside of that, getting an arrow through that into the heart of the animal to kill it is really tough. The thing that impressed me about this book and this tribe was that the chief of the tribe assumed the personal responsibility to see to it that every single member of his tribe had enough food to eat before he took any himself. Now, in some of the tribes, if you were a widow and you had no son, you also had nobody to look after you to provide meat. In this particular tribe, and I don't know how general that was, if it was just something that somebody saw and wrote down, or whether or not that was just an exception, whether it was real. But in this particular tribe, every single person got to eat before the chief and got to take what they wanted before the chief got. He got the leftovers. And I remember one night I remember thinking that was a pretty good way to do it. And one night at a church potluck dinner, where I had done some of the cooking of things and was sort of in charge, I stood up and I said, we're going to do things a little differently. Instead of being a rush for the tables, we're going to let the mature ladies go first. Then we're going to let the mothers with little children go. And lastly, the men and the boys. The boys will be last. Now, usually what happens at dinners is those people who are younger and more aggressive go first. And those people who are a little bit hesitant or whatever go last. Well, this time we separated it out so that those people who were older, a little less likely to force their way to the front, actually got to go first and get some of everything. And you know what? It didn't hurt the boys and it didn't hurt the men. I can testify to you that none of them starved to death that night. I don't think any of them ever starved to death, quite frankly. And here's what the Lord is trying to make a point. If you're a shepherd, whether it's a father, a husband, a religious leader, an example in the community, a boss, a department head, a manager, a team leader of some sort, type of description, your job as the shepherd is to set the example, to see to it that you do for everybody else what they need before you get the slightest benefit for yourself. And if it comes down to that, you take no benefit. Wouldn't be bad if all politicians followed that. And all business leaders. What have we had lately? All kinds of horrible examples of people looking after themselves before they look after the people they're supposed to be looking after. The Lord has condemned that totally, and those people will have an eternity to think about how ignorant and crooked they have been.